Now, I don't know about you, but I don't necessarily have a green thumb. Heck, if I was trusted with that cactus, it would probably wilt in a day. However, someone I do know that's quite good with her plants is Deborah Landine. Now, Deborah has been growing pumpkins for about 5 years now, and it all started off when she got some seeds at a county fair. Now, see, she soon found out that growing pumpkins is no easy task. When she was growing pumpkins, you would need good soil, manure, fertilizer, and not just any normal fertilizer either. You would need potassium and calcium, stuff you wouldn't normally think to even put in the ground. Now, all this stuff isn't exactly an option when you live in a city like this. So she had to work for it. She would get manure from an outside farm. She would have to buy stuff like this fertilizer, and she would have to pesticide weekly. Another thing she had to worry about was weather protection. Just from the sun, rain, hail, anything could damage the plants. You could get even stuff like vine borers, which is why you needed that pesticide. These vine borers would get inside the vines and would just completely deny the pumpkins of nutrients. Now, these pumpkins can grow up to 40 pounds a day, and this all happens overnight. So you could just walk out there and the pumpkin might be twice its size. Another thing is that you don't really want to lift a pumpkin up and put it on a scale, so you would have to weigh it differently. Instead of doing that, you had to take measurements and then apply it to this chart. Height, width, circumference, all that kind of stuff. Another thing is, you don't really want the bees pollinating the plants, because then you don't know the mother and the father. And if you know the mother and the father, the seeds can actually be worth more money. So, she would hand pollinate them. She would cover the females up so that the bees wouldn't get to those and then pollinate them. So that this way, she could write down the genealogy of the plants. Now, something else she would do is she decided that she had a big enough pumpkin to bring to the weigh-off in Stillwater. Now, this weigh-off gathered people from all around, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, everyone from around this area. And it was a 2-day event. Each pumpkin would be weighed separately, and they would have to be checked for damages. Anything that could be signs for holes on the inside, scratches, anything like that. Another thing that they did was they would drop pumpkins from a crane. About 100 feet up, they would bring about a 1,000-pound pumpkin, lift it all the way up to the max height of the crane, and they would drop it, and then people would rush for it when it hit the ground to get the seeds. Now, something that I always found interesting was the pumpkin regatta, as they called it, where they would hollow out pumpkins, and then they would get in them and ride them down the river and see who could get from point A to point B on the river the fastest. Now, something that Debbie wasn't expecting was to win an award. Since she only had about a 400-pound pumpkin, she was expecting to get nothing. However, she got something called the Prettiest Pumpkin Award. Since most pumpkins start to lose their nice shape and color when they get larger, they don't exactly look nice. However, since Debbie's wasn't exactly the largest, it still looked really nice. Now, this might interest you, and if it does, just go on the internet and you can find a lot of things like how to get started and where to actually find seeds and how to fertilize them, how much to water them, and that's how easy it can be. You might not get as big of a pumpkin as she did or win an award, but it can still be fun.